Hello, Tim and Joel Pod, SmackPack, like the pudding, but with an
I was gonna say if it's the other one, we're gonna have some problems, maybe some some legal issues.
Come at me, bro. Who owns snack packs?
It's got to be Kraft here in Canada. It's got to be.
It's got to be something enormous, yeah. Snack pack, Walmart. Hunt's snack pack, ConAgra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ConAgra. How good.
This is stuff we could have done off the air. I'm just putting it out there.
They're pretty upset. They seem like a mean company. So
we are not mean company, and we like to have you joining us in your company. Good morning, friends. Good afternoon.
Hit the like. Hit the subscribe.
Hit that like button. Yeah.
Join our company. Start a revolution. New company.
Well,
SmackPack.
we can't all join the SmackPack revolution, but we can all be iconoclasts because, friend, Edge is back.
Yeah, he's back. And for some reason, he's even though he was listed, he's a competitor. I don't. He was listed as one of the people that Roman Reigns has handily defeated.
Right.
But here he is.
I did find that a little strange, but at the same time, I was excited because it's literally everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, when it happened,
weeks.
when it was like, you think you know me? I was like, yeah.
Where it is.
Like, I don't know what they were like. Clearly there was actually nothing that they had planned had never been done on network television. Like, they said that line and it was so obvious to me. It's like, you're not going to do anything. You have nothing planned. Like,
what's really weird to me is that last week on Talking Smack, and we talked about it on our show last week, Paul Heyman issued an open challenge on behalf of Roman Reigns. And of course, because no one watches Talking Smack except for that video of Pat McAfee that I posted yesterday, they didn't do said open challenge. They just kind of went and did their own stupid thing.
Big announcement or whatever that never happened because Edge came back.
Edge comes back, got himself a big old beard. He's back to being a Viking. It's nice. It's good. There was the barricade spot. I'm really ready for that to be finished. I don't need to see that.
That's someone's highlight of their entire week where they get out the ratchet and they loosen those bolts and they're like, I feel like a real man.
Buddy, the amount of releases, it's probably the same guy who rings the bell, the same guy who helps put up the ring, the same guy who does some of the rigging in the Thunderdome, probably the guy who fixes some of the LED panels. Might even be Jimmy Smith, who's now going to probably moonlight as an announcer and as one of the foremen. So,
Yeah, I don't know. That's cost effective. It doesn't seem like multiple people need to do some of those jobs, especially the ring bell. That doesn't need to be a job. That should be like a thing they just do for charity. Just have someone in to ring the bell.
Well, they do bell, they do timekeeper role, they do other stuff as well. But yeah, it's a whole thing. For the longest time, the guy who rang the bell, Mark Eaton, he also was the guy who would throw the beards at Stone Cold Steve Austin.
See, that's a very important job. Actually,
it was a very important job.
That could be dangerous. You got to be good at that.
Exactly. I was going to say he was very good. He did not miss.
Yeah, it would have been a liability concern otherwise. Like if he overshot it and just smoked a fan the opposite side of the ring. Oof.
I mean, that's an arm like a cannon if you can clear the ring and hit a fan in the face.
No, I mean, yeah, he's underhand tossing him, but if he just arced it a little bit too much,
Man, I'm here for that.
Oh, I miss Stone Cold.
I can't wait for fans to come back so they can be pelted in the face with cans of beer.
I just want another gimmick where someone comes down with a hose full of something and just hoses everyone in the ring. That's one thing I liked seeing AEW bring back. I was like, good, even though that they don't know how physics works and the canvas mat got really slippery for some reason. But anyway,
well, that's the whole joke. You're supposed to, because then you slip and slide and fall and do the swimming thing like
yeah, I think they've all done that. The beer did that. The milk did that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh boy. Well, we've already dug ourselves into a hole for this episode, so I'm glad.
Yeah. What are we even talking about?
Edge
is back.
Edge and Roman are gonna have a match at Money in the Bank. That's official.
Maybe Seth.
So Seth's pissed, and we're going to get to that when we talk about the mixed tag match, because I thought it was very interesting with Edge coming back. He gets the match, and Seth earlier in the night wanted Roman, and he's going to be a little upset. We'll get there. But first, let's talk about Jimmy Uso defeating Dolph Ziggler. First of all, it's the annual reminder that Dolph Ziggler was in fact a world champion.
Yes.
Listen, no shade to Dolph Ziggler. He's a great wrestler. He's an excellent competitor, but at the same time, we know what Dolph Ziggler is at this point in his career, and he's more than okay with it too. He's fine. So we get to the point where he's going to be, you know, the everyman wrestler, in which he wrestles every man. So we have the stairs spot with the zigzag. I thought it was great. I liked it. Jimmy landing flat on his back onto a set of stairs as flat as he can. Listen, it hurts, okay? But otherwise a good match. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was good. The finish was a little lackluster, I felt, but it was fine.
What was it? Super kick?
And I think it was just a super kick. It was weird. Wonderful. It was Jimmy defeating the guy who does the super kick, one of the 30 guys who does the super kick with a super kick, I think. It was, yeah.
Either way, where's Jay?
I don't know what this is about. Like, it just seems weird. Like, Jimmy's just stepped into being Jay. Like,
which is interesting because Jimmy comes in, he reiterates, "I'm nobody's bitch," blah blah blah. Then Roman keeps gaslighting him and is like, "You're not the right hand man, therefore you can't make it happen with me," and therefore, basically, Jimmy becomes Roman's bitch.
Yeah, right. Like I'm nobody's. Okay, I'm your bitch.
I guess I'm yours. All right, so I'm your bitch.
You got me.
That's right. I think honestly, what happens next? Jay comes back. Jimmy and Jay are eventually going to win those tag titles, and then one of them is going to either turn on the other, or we're really just going to have a big plot hole. Jimmy's going to join the family, and that's it.
I don't know. It's getting weird. I'm nervous.
This is the one storyline where I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because they've been very good at least covering up those plot holes. So if it turns out that it's just Jimmy joins the family, la-di-da, everyone's happy, that's going to be the first time where I'm going to really have doubts about the way that this story's going.
I have no idea who's writing it, so I'm just going to credit Paul Heyman.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paul's very, very involved with it.
Yeah. Like from the moment he showed up, just sitting outside that door, it was like, this has promise. Okay.
Typically, when it comes to main event work, that is Vince and, in this case, Paul. Yeah. And there's one thing that Vince does well, and that's when he's very, very hyper-focused on a story. When he puts all of his focus on one thing, Vince McMahon usually has some good stuff come from it. This is one of those times, and where we're seeing the fruits of that labor. Unfortunately, it also gets to a point where he might get bored.
That's what I'm worried about. It feels like maybe he's
make it more convoluted than it needs to be.
Yeah, so we'll see.
The Crown.
Oh my God, Kingsuke.
Not talking about the show. I'm talking about that's right. I'm talking about Kingsuke. Do you want to start with Boogs Watch?
He was there again.
He finally has in-ear monitors, like the stuff that we wear.
Yeah, didn't make much of a difference.
Yeah, his tone was still awful, and he's got his. At least he brought back the Flying V. That Richie Faulkner Epiphone Flying V that he was gifted by Loudwire is back. And that sounds better than whatever the Ibanez he was playing before.
Yeah.
Crying Corbin, by the way, that's the play.
His whole life is in shambles, and yeah, they really want to make Sad Corbin a meme. Like they're just hammering it. Like,
yeah. Now they're talking about how he made some bad investments. In a fact,
yeah.
You know who else made some bad investments once upon a time? Big Show. And you know what they did with Big Show with his bad investments? They paired him up with the Authority and made him into their giant. Where he would go and take people out at their will, at their mercy, at their whatever, at their willing. And that was the Big Show character for a while until he turned and he's like, I don't need money, blah, blah, blah. I'm more than material goods. They're going to do the same thing with Corbin, but they're not going to, they got to find a rich character to do it with because they're not going to use an authority figure.
Cameron Grimes.
So, I would say even LA Knight, you bring him on in about 3 weeks after the Money in the Bank.
He's
you could do it after Great American Bash if you really wanted to. Otherwise, I don't really see where else Corbin goes with this, with poor crying Corbin.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs like a radical character transformation, I think. But I think everyone has wanted that forever. Not that they just couldn't do it. It's good to have the crown off him.
Yes, I'm ready for something new with the crown. I think most people are. And now we've got to get to a King of the Ring tournament, I assume, or something.
What are we doing? If the crown just disappeared. and
It
never
ain't gonna
came back
disappear.
or was spoken. I know. I don't like all we've done now is made Shinsuke worse.
Who
Like,
was the last? Who was the last good King of the Ring?
has there ever been anyone?
Oh yeah, there have been. There have been.
Okay,
Bret Hart
Booker
was.
T got it. He was awful.
Oh, that was actually probably the last good one. Was
King
Booker?
Booker.
Yeah, because King Booker, the character, revitalized Booker T.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah, but I mean, his best days were behind him at that point.
And whatever. The point was he was still good. So you got that. You've got who else was there? I mean, there was King Sheamus. King was Regal. Regal was king. That was good.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
Yeah,
British.
okay.
He's allowed to be king.
That's right. It was royalty. Anyway, let's move on. Someone who is not king, and that's Big E, or is he? He might be king of the mountain when this is all over with because
fighting
he's
a
joining
king
the
or
field.
something. Prince.
He's fighting a prince, a Nigerian prince.
Yes, of course.
He just wants your money. So Big E and Apollo Crews have another match. Listen, Big E is joining Money in the Bank. There's a rumor, Tim, this week about Big E joining Raw with the WWE draft at the end of August, maybe joining his New Day buddies. What do you think? Is there a room for Big E to win Money in the Bank, to hold that title for a while, and then potentially cash it in on someone down the line on Raw? Or is he better suited for SmackDown to be elevated, go after Roman Reigns, and potentially take the title off of him?
I don't think it matters. I think that Big E will run with whatever he's given. If they put him back with the New Day, perhaps they realized, oh, we can just do singles pushes while someone's part of a faction. We've done this before. It's not rocket science. Like, they could do that. Him taking it from Bobby Lashley would be excellent. I think they'd have a great feud. And it works right now, given the way that, Big E or Lashley and Kofi have their thing. I'm nervous that if they do that, then it's going to be Kofi versus Big E at the end of it.
Yep. There are a lot of people speculating about Money in the Bank because there's a live fan interaction coming back. Everyone seems to assume that because of that, WWE is going to go out of their way to make it a huge event. And I disagree. They took WrestleMania and they made it into a big event with the fans back, but they didn't make it into this like huge blockbuster event. And people enjoyed both nights of WrestleMania, and that was enough for them. The fans being back was enough for them. Does it mean that that's what they're going to do with Money in the Bank? I think honestly, they're going to do enough, but they're not going to do this big blockbuster night. People are saying like, so-and-so is going to come back. So-and-so is going to cash in.
I would wait for SummerSlam for that. I think that they'll do their big spectacle, but I think it'll be SummerSlam because at that point it'll be a full capacity crowd, I think, right? So
yeah, and there's going to be full capacity Money in the Bank as well, but there's going to be a fuller capacity at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
by virtue of the venue.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let everyone in on a secret, and it's the worst kept secret that I've been harping on for about 5 years now. Pay-per-views, network, Peacock, whatever you want to call it, mean nothing.
Yeah, now it's a shame.
Now it's all about what happens on Raw and SmackDown, which is ironic because people like to shit on Raw. Yeah. So if you see any huge moments, big returns, things like that, they're going to happen on TV. They're not going to happen on the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views are going to have excellent matches and potential title changes, yes. But man, those big returns, 99% of them are going to happen on TV.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think this is a natural point to bring Big E up if they choose to do so with the Money in the Bank, because like he could also make a run at Roman. I think that would be good and a good angle because there's no real convenient way to get them together like against each other right now. But if you give Big E the Money in the Bank, and if say like he just cashes in and he's like, I want a proper match or something, right? The spirit of competition,
right? And it's so I don't know. There's a lot of like Mike in the chat is saying. I feel like crowds at Money in the Bank would love a Big E win.
Yeah.
If you do that, if you have a face win the men's Money in the Bank, a heel win the women's Money in the Bank, sure. At the same time, Money in the Bank traditionally we talk about is a heel's gimmick.
Yeah, but like I said, like there's a natural way to give it to a face and just have them cash it in and schedule a match, right? Like they want to compete. So there's that. It's a good way to get someone who might not find an angle into a feud into that main title picture.
I guess. I don't like the idea of calling your shot with the briefcase. It's the only babyface way that they have.
Yeah,
Whereas if
literally,
you
I
have
can't think of another one.
well, I mean, listen, you can do the take your chance as a face because if there's a heel champion who's doing absolutely dastardly things to their opponents, let's say, remember there was that one SummerSlam where Brock beat the living shit out of John Cena,
Yeah.
and it was uncomfortable to watch.
Sounds good. I would enjoy
You
it.
do. It was a great match, but it was uncomfortable because it was so one-sided. You do something like that with, say, Roman Reigns, and at the end of the match, the babyface comes out and says, "You know what? I've had enough of you. You just went 30 minutes. I don't care. I will
Yeah.
beat you because you were such a dick to so and so." You could do that and maybe have the big babyface win or not, and still make some sense with how a babyface could play out having Money in the Bank. Either way, a good match with Big E and Apollo this week. Just a lot of repetition. We've seen it, you know. I do like that after the match, Big E's like, "It's over."
Yeah.
He's done with Apollo, and I hope that's true because it's done.
It's like that. I think it's been 14, 15 matches. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. They kind of hinted at Otis and Big E.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Going back to the draft and Money in the Bank conversation that we're having, an Otis feud with Big E makes perfect sense to me because two things. One, Money in the Bank briefcase holders usually lose a lot before they win. And two, people who are switching brands in the draft typically lose a bunch before they move. So and Otis needs to get over, especially on this new heel character. So what do? You put E and Otis together. You have a few matches. They're going to try and protect Big E, but also you've got to build and boost Otis, especially on a different brand from Big E down the line.
Yeah.
So you have Otis win that feud, and I'm okay with that. I would love to see that, and then have Big E move over to Raw and then dominate, do the thing. But they
expect
a
lot of tight pulling and disqualification finishes, things with Chad Gable.
Yeah, they'll do a weightlifting competition.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, or a Vader bomb off. They'll do a cannonball competition. I'm here for it. Yeah. Who can drink the most protein powder?
Just the powder.
Just the powder. Just
you gotta drink that powder.
Yes. No water. No nothing. Just eat it.
Dry. It's like the cinnamon challenge or whatever.
That was awful. Pat McAfee dancing with Big E on Talking Smack, by the way, made my week. If you haven't seen it yet, go find the clip. It's on my Twitter. It's basically just Pat McAfee just starts doing the dance, and then he starts, hey. It's so stupid, and it's so funny. Go find it. It's fun. Mixed match challenge. Here we go. Bianca and Cesaro take on Bayley and Seth. First of all, everyone's crazy. We know this. It's SmackDown.
Yeah.
Everyone's
cackling. So much cackling.
I like the opening with Cesaro and Bianca doing the assisted swing to go to commercial to start the match. Good enough.
Yeah.
How do we get Seth and Cesaro into Money in the Bank? Because it's inevitable. Because you can't have them face each other.
Yeah, no, can't.
I mean, you can, and then just do the loser.
Feed Dolph to one of them. Feed Bobby Roode to the other.
Oh my God, that's exactly what they're gonna do. I hate it. You know what they'll do? No, you know what they'll do? They'll do Seth and Roode.
Yeah.
And Seth will win. They'll do Cesaro and Ziggler, and Ziggler will win, and then Cesaro will win a last chance.
Last chance, yeah.
Pretty much what to get. What we'll get.
Oh my God.
I don't know who they can face. I mean, that's it. There hasn't been and then Apollo. So what is it? Apollo, Roode, and Cesaro in a triple threat.
Yeah.
And then Roode gets pinned again by Cesaro. I love it. we just got Seth and Cesaro into Money in the Bank. What if Seth wins Money in the Bank? Does that work for you? Does that make sense to you?
No, I don't.
Do you like it?
I don't like it at all.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm tired of Seth.
Are you tired of Seth, or are you tired of the laughter?
Both.
Trip?
Yeah, mostly the laughter. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling what he's doing right now.
He is looking for a little bit of direction, and it looks like he's trying to get his hands on the title, and the title is currently being challenged for by Edge.
Like that. Yeah, I don't know. I was more interested in that backstager with Sonya and Adam. Like, I was actually intrigued with something Seth Rollins was doing for the first time in a while.
Go back to Talking Smack. We saw that they did the announcement where Roman Reigns will face Edge for the title, and Seth was on. And first of all, it's funny because they're wearing their monitors; they can hear everything.
Yeah.
Seth is not, so he's like, "I can't hear anything. What the hell's going on?" And he's just like freaking out. And then they tell him, it's going to be that match, and Seth is freaking out. He's not happy. So really, we get to the idea that maybe Seth is going to cost Edge the world championship.
I would love that.
And then we can move on to SummerSlam and do Seth versus Edge.
That sounds
I would
excellent.
Love.
Excellent. That sounds like a very good feud. Yeah.
You can pull so much history from those guys. There's that one image that went around where you had Seth with his foot on Edge's head, on his neck, because once upon a time when Edge wasn't cleared and couldn't wrestle, he came onto Raw, did a guest spot, and then it ended with, I'll break his neck unless you do XYZ. I think it was Bring Back the Authority. That may have been the Bring Back the Authority angle or something. Either way, I like the idea of at least getting to that story. And again, we're using Roman as the conduit through which everything else happens, which is whatever. It's fine. Seth winning Money in the Bank, it only makes sense because he's a heel.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like there's some you gotta use that to elevate someone. I think like this year, like you gotta pull someone up into the title picture who maybe hasn't been there yet.
I agree with that. And right now, both of your champs are heels. Both of your world champions are heels. So I think it's time to try something maybe a little bit different. We'll see what they do. Meanwhile, Bianca and Bayley are probably going to have another match at Money in the Bank. Because why not?
Because why?
What are they going to do? They're going to do what? Last woman standing? Last woman cackling? What are we doing?
They're doing a last man standing match next week. Like, they're not going to do it.
So let's talk about it. KO tweets out, "I'm taking a break," after the pay-per-view last week.
How does Bayley feel about going bald?
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, hair versus hair is a really, really good idea. I like that. Let's roll with that for a bit. So
she could wear elaborate wigs after. It works.
Would. She'll wear blue wigs and start foreshadowing Sasha's return for SummerSlam.
She just becomes Sasha. We've already done this match or this again. We're doing Mickey and Trish again.
Oh no, not again. So hold on, we're gonna go back for a second. What were we just talking about? KO and Sammy next week. Sure, It's fine. Last man standing. That's KO's second last man standing match in a year. And he just wants to take a break, man. He's tired. Like a lot of us are. Though. Let's talk about women's Money in the Bank. I'm not happy. They're really, 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 really trying to make everything sound awful when it comes to the women's involvement.
No tag teams. No tag teams we were talking about. Yeah. Didn't happen.
That's because on SmackDown, there are no bloody women, let alone tag teams. Yeah. So what do? Sonya Deville comes out and says Carmella's in because she won twice. By the way, she didn't win twice. She won once because the first time James Ellsworth dropped the briefcase in her lap and they said, nope, we're doing it again. So no, she didn't win it twice. She won it once. I hate that. I hate that they're using that. And then they have Liv Morgan come out and she defeats Carmella, and Liv is still not officially in the match.
Yeah, this wasn't a qualifier, I guess.
They basically said something like, if you win, you're in, but it was like, if you win and you're impressive,
we'll take it under
I'll
advisement.
Consider it. Yeah. Well, you got 3 weeks to the pay-per-view. Let's come on, man. That was dumb. There are not enough women on SmackDown to put together the field, so now they're going to add Natty and Tamina because guess what? They were in the back watching the match between Liv and Mella.
Debut Mia Yim.
Right? And a lot of people want
hell?
That. I think, honestly, they don't want to do it because they know it's going to be she's not going to win. No. So why do it is probably what they're thinking in their head. But at the same time, there's so much more you can do.
Yeah, something. Because, they need... Why? I don't want the tag champs in that match at all.
Yeah, it makes little to no sense because they cancel at the field.
No, and I think they're still going to end up doing a Mandy Dana thing on the pay-per-view. Probably, maybe even a kickoff show.
Oh, you know what they're going to do? No, they'll do Mandy and Dana versus Natty and Tamina for the women's tag titles and to qualify for women's Money in the Bank. They'll do that because this week on Raw they're doing a 6-woman tag. It's Natty and Tamina teaming with Charlotte to take on Mandy, Dana, and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the other way around. Either way. I don't know. I liked SmackDown as a whole. The show was fine. It was a good show. It's just there are so many things that I don't like picking apart, but we have to because there's so many things that just don't work.
Yeah, and I'm tired of the runbacks at this point. Like nothing's getting blown off. It's just carrying on and on and on.
Yeah. So that was that. Let's talk about Impact for a minute. Because
Impact.
speaking of things that I like but also have trouble watching. By the way, you can join me live on Fightful Gaming, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We watch Impact. Myself, Steven Jensen, and our rotating third guest. I'm gonna have a fun one this week, I think. Tommy Dreamer's on the Anthem board and nobody likes it.
Yeah, they're keeping him on as a consultant.
Did you go over to Anthem the other day and ask them why? Did you get a chance to go over there?
No, I feel like they're doing their best.
We're trying so hard. So now we're gonna have Team Tommy versus Team Kenny, and Tommy can't wrestle, which is hilarious. So what do? It's Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Sammy, Moose, and Sabin. Why are Sabin and Moose in the same match? Are they doing the enemy of the enemy is my friend?
That's they did the like, oh, should we tell him who the other person is?
It's like, he's watching the show.
He knows now. Like I'm sure he keeps up with the press releases. Like,
I just hope Sabin throws a shoe.
Yeah, more shoe throwing, please.
Anyway, let's move on. Violence by Design defeats Ed Edwards and Kojima in a solid main event.
They gave you some hope. They gave you some hope. They made you think that they might do it, but nope. BBD looked good.
They look very good. I was very happy. I love that stable. I think they're doing all the things right now, and they should continue to reign. I would love if Violent by Design could hold all of the titles in Impact. That would be cool. Once Eric Young is healthy enough, he should go back after that title. And at one point, I would love to see if you had Rhino and let's say Doring as the official tag champions, Eric Young as the Impact World Champion, and then you put the X Division title on Diener. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
the 100%. 4 of them just standing there with the titles at the end of the night. That would be great. Add a woman to Violent by Design. There you go. Add someone who can win the Knockouts title.
That's where Jordan Grace is going.
No,
she's getting so angry. She's getting so angry. She's
getting violent. That's true. That's a good point. It's a good shot right there.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that, Anthem.
Meanwhile, Ed Edwards wants a match versus Kojima.
Of course he does.
But so does W. Morrissey. So I'm kind of interested to see where that plays out because Morrissey has been quite good since joining Impact.
Yes.
And Ed Edwards versus Kojima would actually be a stellar matchup. And the heart and soul of Impact gimmick that they keep doing, that works here. That at least works for Eddie Edwards taking on New Japan's Kojima. That's fine. I like that. I also like Susan.
Yeah, this was a high point of the show for me this week. Like having this breakdown, just getting her ass whooped.
Professional wrestle me right now.
Very
Probably
good.
The best thing that came out of this week. But we're getting close. We're gonna do Su Yung, I think. Is it time to bring her back? Is it time for Su Yung to make an appearance?
Yep.
Deanna at the end of the match defeating Su Yung. She wrenches her arm and continues to over and over again. I think their friendship is over. I don't know though. You think that I've seen friendships mended over time.
I think they're done. You know, I think Kimberly was very upset, had to pull her off. So I think that's it. I think Deanna's gonna get too high on herself and that fly too close to the sun. I think Su Yung comes back, takes the title.
Yeah, I could see a point where Su Yung and Deanna have a match.
Yeah.
I don't know when. If you do it at Slammiversary, then I'm still wondering what the hell happened that plans changed that much. Because there was talk of, someone's coming in and Taylor Wilde. There's still the Taylor Wilde.
Taylor Wilde. My God. Yeah.
Well, again, it was one set of tapings and she wasn't there for it. Therefore, she missed an entire month.
But don't set something up if you don't have someone who can, what is going on? Did something happen?
It's strange. You think they maybe work on some vignettes? I think there's more to it, but I also have no bloody clue. I only know that as a Canadian, I can't cross the border that easily right now. I will after July 7th or whatever it is, but it's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. They should have, if there was uncertainty, what they could have done is just film some backup material because it's not like they're, they got time and money enough to do that. Like their promos aren't exactly like super complicated productions. They could have just cut some stuff in the back as a safeguard, but Whatever.
Yeah, it would have been nice. But instead, going back to the Knockouts division, Rachel Ellering and Jordan Grace have a very good segment that I quite enjoyed.
Mediator Jazz.
Now, okay, we'll talk about Mediator Jazz because I liked the fact that Jazz came out in the middle of this because Jazz has been part of the Jordan Grace storyline for the last few months to the point where, I wanted a loser leaves town match.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I mean, maybe. I mean, it can still happen.
It's not going to happen.
Still, everyone who's retired doesn't have to stay retired. That's all I'm saying.
Just stay retired.
So Jazz comes out and she's the mediator and she's like, I put you two together. You two are strong. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you fighting? And I like that they bring her along for the ride because she was a part of this whole the Jordan Grace story and now the Rachel Ellering story. I like that they involved her. Good emotion from Rachel Ellering. She sold it pretty okay. She's not a great actress, but she's making reference to her time in NXT and the toxic positivity. I think there's a lot of reality-based feeling coming out of that. Good emotion. And then it still feels like that Rachel Ellering is going to be the one to turn on Jordan Grace so that she turns and joins with Tenille Dashwood. Because Tenille is just
weirdly. Here. Yeah. She's kind of this specter that exists over the two of them. So
I don't really... I don't know what to expect from that, but I think that's where we're going. Ellering turning on Jordan.
Could be.
Let's talk about releases real quick.
Oh my God. I'm so sad.
So we found out on Friday, as I'm trying to take my day off and relax, that WWE released a slew of talent, about 14 names. We had Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Arya Davari, Tony Nese, Chase Parker and Matt Martell, who were Ever-Rise, August Gray, Sunil and Samir Singh with Bollywood Boys, Marina Shafir, Killian Dane, Arturo Huas, Kurt Stallion, and Tino Sabatelli. So some of these names are shocking. Some of these names, to be perfectly blunt, are not.
Yeah.
Because some of them, listen, by all accounts, this was a gutting of 205 Live.
Yeah, which no one's watching it. So, this is not in any way surprising to me. Why continue to produce something that you're not getting viewership on?
And that was the thing with 205. It was an hour of content that was actually really good if you took the time.
People had great things to say about it. No one en masse is watching it, which is the problem. Doesn't matter how good it is. People need to watch it.
It really, So it was really shitty to see that. But again, some of these names were actual shocks. The Ever-Rise, who literally just had a match this past week on NXT TV, and were doing stuff with Hit Row. They were
podcast
involved.
They had
they were doing so much fun stuff. Killian Dane was another one where I think they've just been kind of trying to figure out what the hell Killian Dane is, and they couldn't put it together. But it sucks because he comes to work and works hard, and he was bumping for a big man class.
They had
a
clever thing with him and Drake was fired, and now Drake's not fired for some reason. Out of the two of them, I wouldn't have kept Drake, but whatever.
There was talk about Drake, but I don't think. Fire him twice. They found a guy to fire twice, and that was Tino Sabatelli. And Savvy he's a good dude. He's a good wrestler, but I don't know what happened that when they brought him back in October, it was suddenly what now? Because he never came back. He never debuted. He never worked. There was no coconut loop to work because everyone's on lockdown. So Savvy went to AEW. I don't know if people know the story, but Savvy goes to AEW, wrestles a few matches, and at the same time, some leaks started getting out of taped shows for AEW. And some people leading the charge, one of them, their initials might be CJ, started saying that Savvy was the leak in AEW. And so Savvy was told, take a hike, you're not coming back. And then the leaks continued, and Savvy was rehired by WWE, so they looked dumb. Sabatelli, I think, will still land on his feet. He's got so much money from football. The dude is fine.
Yeah, he's a football dude.
He's a football guy, and he's probably gotten his money in order. Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Yeah, I know you like them. I like them too.
They're older though, aren't they? How?
They're in their late 30s. they've been with the company for 10 plus
Tyler
years.
Breeze is 33. I take
Oh
this
yeah,
back.
Tyler's
Fandango
my age,
is
isn't he?
39. Fandango
Yeah,
is 39.
Dango's 40. Yeah, Dango's turning 40. So
Yeah.
yes, Breeze is young. Breeze has been with the company for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on him because he's survived
No.
for 10 plus
Yeah.
years. He's been doing up, down, down content with Austin Creed, with Xavier Woods for the entirety of up, down, down, to the point where like those two together are up, down, down.
Yeah, you've now
That sucks.
damaged one of the more popular like web series that you have put together.
And they did it last time because they got rid of Jessamine Duke, who's also very popular and a producer on Up, Down, Down. So what are we doing here? Are we trying to gut Up, Down, Down? Is it?
I don't
gut,
think they
gut,
know
down,
what
down?
to value. Like it makes sense to me, the 205 Live stuff. That makes sense to me. As crummy as it is, because there's a lot of really talented people there. They'll all end up fine. They'll find somewhere else to go. But like Up, Down, Down, I don't watch it, but like it seems to be very, very popular, and like maybe they don't understand the value of some of these like adjacent properties. Even the Everrise podcast, I thought, was like a little bit more I don't know enough about that, but like,
yeah, the one thing with 205 Live that I loved was the fact that it was a great ground for these guys to A, work, B, it was also good for the behind the scenes people, because the people who were basically in charge of 205 Live included Dewey Foley, who is Mick's son. Mick, and Mick, of course, is the kind of guy you want to keep around when it comes to talking about the product in a positive way. So Dewey Foley continues to work on 205 Live, but is there a 205 Live to work? Here's the other side of it. There is so much talent still in that PC. Yeah. And there's so much talent in that PC who are still newly signed and working for a lot less money.
Parker Bordeaux, for one.
He ain't 205, but he certainly can't. Doesn't want to cut the tags off of his suit jacket like he stole it off the rack. So I mean, Tony Nese is going to end up wherever the hell he wants. Maybe ROH, maybe goes. I was saying like Nese and Daivari showing up in PWG would be hilarious, and I think that would be perfect. They both walk into the Globe Theater at PWG and are just like, this place, the hell happened here, and then they just start their whole run, and it's fine. I like that. August Great just started in WWE. I'm so upset because he was so good.
Did you see his tweet? I think it was him. He was like, "This is new update. This is now a loser leaves town match."
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Which he told you the end. I was like, yes.
That's a guy who knows that he's going to come back. He's 27 years old. There is so much room for him to get good and get himself back into WWE. Bollywood Boys, I feel like part of it was just that there were so many injury issues. They just kept not being used. Their biggest time was working with Randy Orton back when Jinder Mahal was champion. And they did a great job. They were the best heaters that anyone could have. They did all the right things. And then when Jinder was no longer champion, what could you do?
Yeah. Speaking of Mick Foley, he just big up them on Twitter.
As he should, because they're good. Marina Shafir, I mean, again, has been taken to wrestling, hasn't been on TV. She did the women's tag, the Dusty women's tag match. That was about it. Then she and her husband both sent in their resignation papers for NXT on TV, and then one of them came back. Although, speaking of which, Shafir and Huas were talked about as potential Diamond Mine people.
Maybe they were being floated, and then they're just like, nah, we'll keep it at 3.
God forbid. And then Huas was injured. They were planning on some big things. So there you go. Caleb, but me and Parker will have a match at WrestleMania 39 if Parker ever learns a forward roll. And finally, is there anyone else on this list that we didn't touch on? I think we got to everyone.
I mean, Kurt Stallion was a bit of a surprise. Again, they started getting things going. Well, he was going to be their cowboy, you know?
He was, that's right. He was hot. He was coming in hot. He had a great look, great ideas. Then he was injured. I don't know what happened between now and then. Again, we only know what we know. And so with Kurt Stallion, it may have just been that he negotiated a bigger contract than he was worth to them. Because I can tell you for a couple of people, that's what it was. They weren't working nearly enough for them to say we should keep them.
Yeah, so. And which is likely the case with Breezango, sadly. But Like the Kurt Stallion thing, I don't know, because they had kind of an angle for him, but it is kind of similar in vibe to Hangman, and Hangman being as popular as he is right now, I don't know if it would have been wise to keep going forward with that.
Yeah, I was being asked if Kyle Bloom is still employed, and I said perpetual backstage extra Kyle Bloom. Yes. On every segment. Do you want to talk about Dynamite? We had the final weekend edition of Dynamite for a while.
Yeah. Thank God.
Boy, am I ready for Dynamite to be back on Wednesdays. I'm of two minds when it comes to it. I was enjoying having a quiet Wednesday when I could stream over on Twitch, do whatever I wanted, blah, blah, blah.
See, I don't pay as much attention to it because it's on the weekends I'm doing things that aren't wrestling.
Well, we're getting closer, buddy, as we get our second shots, both of us.
July 10th. Come on. I'll be good to go.
Buddy, we're going to start doing this podcast live and in person.
Hey, I got internet at my studio now. We can do it with all sorts of gimmicks. Got big Danny DeVito head, you know.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Let's lights. We have lights.
We have lights. Let's talk about Kenny versus Jungle Boy under those hot lights in Florida.
Yeah.
Good. Great match.
Very good. Very, very good. Good work, Jungle gentleman.
Jungle young adult. But now he's back to Jungle Boy because he lost
Demoted
the match.
Again. Yeah. That's how aging works.
A lot of 2.9s and a lot of submission teases, but they sold me a ticket on so many of them.
Yeah.
There was a moment with a stack pin coming out. It was Jungle Boy stacking up Kenny. I forget what the move was that he did to get into it, but he stacked him up, and I was like, oh my God. And it was very close.
Very tight. Close. Was that the one where the announcers were like, oh, it was on our monitor, his hand was already on the way down?
It was probably that. Yeah. JR was not good last night, though.
God, I've watched him had to, like, yeah. I don't know. I feel for him. I'm a pretty brain foggy right now, so.
The shenanigans outside of the ring, we talked about not wanting them.
They were brief at the very least, yeah.
They didn't impact the match.
Nope.
It led to the Jungle Boy doing the snare trap on Kenny, and that was fine. I liked it. And also, it gave us Kazarian's leap like a gazelle, so graceful, to take out the Good Brothers.
It's great. He's good in this role.
Kaz wants Kenny, by the way, if you haven't figured it out. So he dropped a promo. I assume maybe they'll do Kaz and Kenny Fighter Fest.
Yeah, they could. Feels quick. They're moving quickly through these world title feuds.
They kind of do, but it's basically everyone wants the elite. They don't care about the titles. Kaz and Kenny, we'll do Christian and Kenny. They got to get to Hangman and Kenny. If Hangman and Kenny is all out, you have, like, we talked about this. We have an entire summer to get to there. We have to find a way. So what do? We do Kaz and Kenny at Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen. You do Christian and Kenny at either Fight for the Fallen or the debut on Rampage.
Yeah.
So I was saying, because post-match, we did Christian and the Hardys, and then the Bucks doing the Hardy dance was really funny. I thought that was just stupid shit. Hardy family offices and the Elite are now best friends because they hate Kenny. Or sorry, they hate Christian.
Shared disapproval of Christian.
Yeah. And so the Christian turn. This is what I'm saying. Christian turning heel is most likely the play after he loses to Kenny.
Yeah, it seems like they're going that way with the way he's talking to Jungle Boy, etc. So
yeah, it just felt like Christian's going to be like, I'm the guy who can win all the matches and get you there, blah, blah, blah. And then he's going to lose the big match. He's going to win so many matches, get cocky, and then he's going to lose because he's going to defeat Hardy, probably at Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen, and then lose to Kenny at Rampage on August 13th. That's where I see it happening. And then they do the turn as Rampage goes off the air. They have a big thing to talk about on Dynamite the next Wednesday. Why not?
Yeah. Big old thing. Makes sense.
It does kind of suck that it doesn't suck, actually. The idea of moving past Christian and Hardy that quickly, I'm fine with that because I'm ready for Christian and Hardy to happen and to be done.
Don't care about old man fights. So it's fine.
All in all, this was still a better Dynamite than we've seen in the last few weeks.
It was okay. The in-ring action, I think, was really good. Hobbs and Hangman and Jungle Boy and Kenny really stole the show. So.
Yeah, those were the matches for me. Bucks and Eddie and Penta and Abrahantes, those two promos were good. You know, the Bucks treating Brandon Cutler like shit, you know.
Yeah, that's funny. Keep doing that.
Are you an
Shut
EVP?
up, Brandon.
Are you an EVP? Are you an extremely violent person, Tim?
No, I'm not. Especially not today.
Today you're an extremely out of it person.
Yeah.
EOP, EOIT, whatever.
Acronyms are hard.
Dude, you're so foggy. I love it. Second shots. Cocky, obnoxious heels, man. Perfect for the Bucks, though. I'm fine with that.
Yep, works. Makes me. I really hate them. They're very good at their job.
Eddie Kingston, meanwhile, is going to murder somebody. That's basically what I got from that promo.
Yeah, people need to die.
Yeah, and Abrahantes translating for Penta
Still
is back.
good.
I love that pairing. I love it. I do not want Abrahantes wearing that hat, though. I don't want him wearing any hat because A, nice hair. B, he looks like
No
he's turning
hats,
into
no
Fonzie.
stupid glove. Yeah,
The gloves, the gloves are fine. I get the gloves.
No,
but
get
he
rid
looks
of
like
the
he's turning into Fonzie from ECW, and I don't need that. By the way, plus side, no Dark Order. Sorry, that was a negative. The negative side, no Dark Order. On the plus side, no Codyverse. We took a week off.
He took his 1 week off to be with the wife and child, and then we'll see them both back at work on Wednesday.
So they said on air that next Wednesday is, quote, fan appreciation night because it's the last week at Daly's Place until they go back in August. And I assume the Codyverse will be in full effect.
They're going to bring that baby out with the biggest pyro you've ever seen.
Poor baby is going
There'll be a baby there riding a dog while the pyro is going off. That's what I expect.
You're right. Friends, like this video and subscribe to the channel.
I will never stop shitting on Cody.
Congratulations to them. They have a child. It's very beautiful.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's really fucked. But you're right. They're absolutely going to do that. So in Jewish tradition, when it's a girl, you do a baby naming where, they name the baby. They give a Hebrew name to the baby. It's already been established what it's going to be, but it's more ceremonial. I feel like that's what they're going to do here. They're going to do a very ceremonial. They're going to have the Statue of Liberty's head.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're going to get America the Beautiful, like, just raining fire down from the sky. Probably a jet flyover.
Oh, my God. We got Aretha Franklin. She's going to sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, my God.
Oh, let's talk about Hangman and Hobbs. That was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was pretty good. Pretty good.
Hangman is super duper over, and I love that every single match he has now, all he has to do is bleed and pop a beer afterwards. And
he bleeds like in the weirdest places. Like,
yeah, the first time we couldn't figure out how it happened. This time it was a little more obvious.
Yeah.
Back of the head bloodied. Oh, okay, why not?
And the amount of cowboy shit signs in the audience is pretty encouraging. Like, that guy is over.
They are ready for it. They are ready for Hangman to break out and
ascend.
Yes, pretty much. They are ready for his ascension to the title.
Yeah.
And imagine that championship coronation ceremony.
Oh my God. No more coronation ceremonies.
They'll bring out all the horses and the hay, and the Dark Order will come out. They'll be dressed as horses. Anyway.
Oh, they'll be dressed as cartoon cowboys with like very bad cow chaps and stuff.
They will do a BTE segment where they're prepping for it, and they make 5 and 10 do the tandem horse thing. The tandem horse costume.
Yeah. Get a lawnmower out there. You're golden.
Oh, a giant lawnmower. That's a good call. I love it. So during the match, we see Ricky Starks run out with Brian Cage's FTW title again. And of course, Cage and Starks, they're still doing their thing, but I still think Ricky Starks is the one getting the boot from Team Taz.
I think that's the right decision. They should do that. They should do that.
I think it's where we're going. And then, you've got a tough guy at ringside. You've got Hook, buddy. Okay, let's talk. Tim, you can just hang out. It's fine. Okay, Hook. White tank top. It's good. You're good. We got to talk about your presence at ringside. You're very tough, and that's fine. I appreciate your toughness. What I need you to understand, though, is that sooner or later, you're going to have to get in the ring and wrestle. Okay? Sooner or later, you're going to get in the ring, Hook, and you're going to wrestle, and you're going to be good. You and Brock Anderson are going to have the match of the year. But until we get there, you can be as tough as you want, but you got to stop it with the white tank top only. Okay? And if you're still looking for an apartment in Toronto, I got you, bud. Hook, I got you. Hangman using the Deadeye for more wins is something that I like. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah, it was cool. I feel like the Deadeye is not the right name for that. It feels like something gallowsy, I don't know. It's like a gallows. The drop. So
You have to send him a message, just be like, hey, bud, You gotta change that name.
It just doesn't. Deadeye is more of a shooty thing, like that. Like the buckshot lariat is more better suited to something called Deadeye, I think. But
he's a cowboy. They shoot guns and stuff.
Yeah, they also get hanged. So many hangings in old westerns. So something about the gallows. I don't have it. It's not quite there yet, but I'll work on it.
They have a gallows. He's part of the Good Brothers.
No, not that gallows.
Oh, my bad. Let's talk about Conan and Tully. That was
was interesting. Yeah.
That's, by the way, going into it, like that's almost the only other thing I want to talk about from the show.
Yeah, it's good to see Conan doing more than just DJing. That sad club.
Poor bastard. He comes out to the old LAX theme, which is promising. I like that because the new Proud and Powerful theme then debuts, and I'm like, oh, I guess we're not going to do the LAX theme for them. But who knows? I was happy to see Conan. Some of the lines he had were fire. When men were men and sheep were scared.
Yeah, called him a sheep fucker.
That's a very New Zealand thing to do. Said that Tully ought to learn Spanish because he might need it to communicate with his grandkids. Oh boy! In case you didn't know, I'm just going to explain it to you real quick. Tessa is Tully's father. Tessa is married.
Tessa is not Tully's father. Tessa is
daughter.
Yes.
I was testing you.
Okay.
Tessa is Tully's daughter.
Yes.
Tessa is married to a wrestler from AAA named Daga. He is Mexican. He speaks Spanish. So Tully will have to learn Spanish to communicate with his son-in-law and their children. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, who didn't get it though was Wade Keller. So what the fuck is wrong with people? And then Conan says that Walmart is still hiring greeters. I like it.
That was very funny. That was such a good, snappy.
FTR coming out dressed as LAX is Proud and Powerful. Listen, it was obvious. I saw them and I was just like, everything about this is wrong, but it worked. It was so cute and it was so good. And then they spike pile drove. They use a spike pile driver on Conan. Conan, who by the way has had like 1 billion kidney replacements and other health ailments. Good on Conan. Got himself a payday.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good segment.
Was there anything from that segment that stood out to you that you enjoyed?
No, I mean you hit all the main ones. I thought it's pretty interesting. It's good stuff.
Oh, Conan also used the words, we are like scarecrows, we are outstanding in our field. He's used that one on Impact before. I remember that.
Yeah, that one didn't. I didn't remember that. Like
that look that you just gave was the exact same look that I think Ortiz gives in the same video where he says it, where he just looks at the camera and goes, "What?"
That's terrible.
I don't have much to add about last night's show. There was, Ethan Page and Bear Bronson had a good match, or whichever Bear.
Their masks are horrifying.
Right?
I don't care for them. Get rid of them.
They live in New York. That's why. The mountains of New York. The other matches, they were fine. There was just nothing super noteworthy other than the coffin. Oh, the coffin match.
The coffin match, yeah, with Ethan's meandering promo to get there. But
tell me you're looking to sell tickets without telling me that you're struggling to sell tickets. Because now at Road Rager, not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday following, they're going to do 2 gimmick matches. And they're both blow-offs, thankfully. So we're going to see Ethan Page and Darby Allin in a coffin match.
Oh, the coffin match.
And I need Mark Henry to do like 1 billion promos about coffin matches, because he's probably the only person. Oh, and was Miro or Jericho? Whoever fought The Undertaker in Saudi, they're the ones, like, I need people who have coffin match experiences or casket match experience. I need them to go and do like a whole long promo about the casket match. And then of course we have the South Beach strap match.
Yeah, oh my God. All I want is for Ethan to catch Darby doing a coffin drop in the casket and shut the door. Like be holding the casket. Yeah, I think that'd be a good spot. Do that. You can do it. It'd be funny.
That is perfect. I like that idea. That's a good finish. Let's hope we do that.
Great finish.
But of course, I think Darby's going to win. So
yep, of course.
Bunny and Chris Statlander was fine. OC getting beat up by the returning TH2 and Hardy Family Office was fine. It's good.
Fine. It's good. I'm transitioning
to
something.
Bunny got dumped on her head, but she's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I like Bunny. She was just on Unrestricted this past week, and she had a lot to say about her experience as a wrestler. Just go listen to that.
Yeah.
After you finish listening to this. Yeah, oh, we know tickets are still available, Ron, because I am keeping track. They're selling now, but man. Anyway, let's talk about places where tickets aren't being sold for shows right now, and that is the UK. NXT UK, real quick. Walter's back, baby. Are you excited? Are you excited for Walter?
Yeah, I'm excited for Walter and Ilya too.
Ooh, Electric Boogaloo? Because Ilya Dragunov defeats Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey in a very hard-hitting match with a lot of stiffness and a lot of fun. I was very enthralled with that match. They really went hard.
It's a tough son bitch match.
Yep. Walter comes out afterwards, beats the crap out of Ilya, puts the title and lets him drool on it a little bit before he beats him up.
Good Walter's match. So good.
Who can take that title from him?
No one should ever.
There's no one I can think of. And I made the joke on the internet that on that old internet that Ilya Dragunov wins the title, is champion for a year in NXT UK, comes over and one night on Monday Night Raw after dumping the title, having like the best year-long NXT UK reign, shows up on Raw and he's wearing a suit. He's very dapper and he introduces himself as Ivan Dragon, Russian oligarch.
Just make him a natural gas magnate. Boom.
Goddamn, pal, it's perfect.
That sounds awful.
I am all in.
They won't know what to do with him. They'll just compile a bunch of people who aren't American and do the un-Americans again.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so into that. Okay, fine. Let's move on. I like Eva Valkyrie training in the dark. I was so confused at first. They did that whole, there was a Millie McKenzie promo and they were just like, how you doing? Da, 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 just randomly next to the ring. And Eva Valkyrie just comes running into the ring and starts training. And I'm like, why is it so dark for this promo? It's very confusing. Anyway, it's her.
Someone didn't pay the lighting bills.
Yeah, exactly. It's the UK. They're not paying their lighting bills, I guess. Yeah. Mark Coffey and Shaw Samuels had a good opening match. Don't say Shaw Samuels too many times. You will mess it up like I just did. Shaw Samuels. Anyway, it's amazing that these two can go so hard. Let me tell you. But their main roster debuts, yeah, that happens. Then they have their main roster debuts and they're forgotten about. So,
yep.
Anyway, Blair Davenport is Bea Priestley, and that's nice. So, we'll see Bea Priestley in NXT UK. That's about it. That's all I have.
That's it. I got nothing.
Friends, join the Discord. We talk about wrestling there. I mean, I feel bad. Last night we kind of left our buddy Mike to do it on his own. He talked about it. He talked about it. I swear to God, we're not yawning because we're tired. We're yawning because there's been shots given to us. Friends, like I said, join the Discord. Hang out with us. If there's anything you ever want to talk about, we are there for you to talk about too. And until then, Tim, where can the kids find you on ye old internet?
Can find me at Tim Stonep, TIMBSTONEP on Twitter.
The show is at Tim and Joel Pod. We're here every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, before NXT. And we are here every Sunday at noon Eastern, talking about all the other stuff. And I am at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. I ain't hard to find, friends. I will see you all soon and enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.